What do you guys do like with the week prior to your exam? So you like stay calm. How did you stay calm during that? And what did you guys do the week beforehand?
The week leading up to the DAT, and I think the entire time period leading up to it, there's a lot of emotions. For me, it was one of the scariest times of my life. There's so much uncertainty. For me, I was going through boot camps, practice tests, and I was not doing so great on them. So I sort of had this. I had a goal, of course, going into the DAT that I wanted to get a certain score. I wanted to get 21, 22, somewhere in there. But my practice tests were significantly lower than that. So I had all of these emotions, all of these fears, thoughts running through my head. One of the nice things about boot camp was they gave me a really solid schedule. They distribute a schedule for you that you can follow. So I was really diligent about that. And I was able to use that final week the way that they intended for it. And so that we're still, practice tests and things that I was going through. And then just making sure that every time I went through my practice tests, I was going through the answers that I got wrong. I understood why I got them wrong. And I was making note of that. As far as the week leading up to it, and then basically the day before, the week leading up to it was essentially business as it had been for the past 2.5 months of my studying. But the day before, I recognized was a time where I needed to give myself a little bit of a break. And it felt weird because I was like, well, I only have a few more hours until I take this massive exam. But I did a little bit of studying in the morning, and then I sort of took the day for myself to kind of just relax, take a deep breath, and kind of decompress as much as I possibly could. One of my biggest pieces of advice for the DAT is that you need to trust your studying and trust the time that you've spent leading up to this point. And so to think that in those last few 6, 8 hours, you're going to drastically change your score with something that you're going to read or learn, uh, perhaps, but I think ultimately you need to trust the months of time or however long you've put into it, and use that last little bit of time to be with your family, to do something that helps you calm down and take your mind off it a little bit. And I think that's probably the best way I could say to prepare in those last hours before the exam.
Yeah, really good point. So I think that DAT bootcamp has like rides the line between scaring you a little bit because the test scores that you'd get when you're taking DAT bootcamp is like a little bit lower than what people typically get on the test. So scaring you, but then also making you confident because if you're following the study guide, you're consistently going over the material and you are going to be retaining a lot of information. My approach, I was following Ari's guide as well. I think that's the best way to do it. It's just so easily laid out for you that you can just follow it and not think about what to study during the days that you're studying for the DAT, and just focus all your energy on learning everything that you need to learn for the DAT, which is a lot. I remember tapering down a little bit. So it was kind of like I did track, and if anyone did sports, like sometimes leading up to a big event, you want to decrease your mileage or like the amount of hours you spent. So the last 2 or 3 days, I remember studying less. So I was studying like 6 hours every day, and then the last couple of days I was studying like 4 and then 2, just completely relaxing my mind. The day before, I remember like getting a massage, like sitting in the hot tub, not too long so you don't get dehydrated. So like you're really treating your body like an athlete. You want your mental state to be completely there, 100% there, like you're going into a boxing match or something. So that is what I did. And I think that to do that successfully, you need to structure your life in a way where you have a routine and you know that, oh, during this time, I'm going to be studying for the DAT. So your body will be really used to it. And then by the time that you do take it, your mind will be sharp, and then you can be focused for the whole duration because it's a long test.